everybody, welcome to another midweek chat down at the Pablo, the Performing Arts Center. Never had quite this angle before. Hope it doesn't seem like I got the purple sweater, so that's Advent. Hope I don't seem to be violating the Advent spirit by having the Christmas tree behind me, but season of light. It's also Advent, right? Season of holy darkness. I like that phrase. That's that beautiful song. I remember the first year or so that I heard that song. Holy darkness, precious night, heaven's answer hidden in our sight. As we await you, O God of silence, we await your holy night. And the verses are so beautiful. We'll be having our word and music for Days of Holy Darkness on Tuesday, the 19th of December. So I will more about that in the future. But hopefully that'll be a song response to one of our readings that night. But yeah, I remember there was a very my first assignment. There's very she took a lot of pride in being conservative, and lovely lady. She played organ for us, Anita, and I was really pushing the song Holy Darkness, and I thought, well, she's not gonna like it because it's not a four-square hymn, a traditional song, and I think it was after her husband died, maybe. She probably would have liked it anyway, but there's a verse in there. I've taught you the price of compassion. I've taught your soul to grieve. In the darkest, in the deepest, darkest place, there I will plant my seed. But I've taught your soul. Anyway, she loved that song. It was probably her favorite song. Ended up being. So we kind of bonded over that. It's good. So I had to kind of hustle up. I got all the way here. I was here 20 minutes ago, and I had everything set up except, like, where's my camera? I didn't have my camera. I was like, ah. So this isn't too far away from St. James, but it was annoying. But maybe it'll work out well because it'll get dark. The sun is setting as we speak. I'm just going to show you. It's a pretty sky out there, isn't it? Hope I can get this back down in a good... Is that okay? I don't know. Maybe that's good. All right, I'll try that. Okay, anyway, I got some parish news as always, a few other things to show you and talk to you about. So they said keep mentioning Mass time. So Mass times for Christmas, we will have. I don't know if we ever had this exact schedule. It changes every year, but so Sunday is Christmas Eve. This is it's a problem or an opportunity, but so we'll celebrate the fourth Sunday of Advent, the regular Saturday Mass, and then Sunday just one Mass in the morning at 9. So not 8, not 10, but 9. And then Christmas Eve will be Christmas Masses at 4, 6:30, and 11. Christmas Day at 9. And so some people have asked or see it as an opportunity. I don't want to get too legalistic on everybody, but so everybody knows the rules. The Christmas Mass, even if you go on Sunday afternoon, does not qualify as Sunday Mass. And so people ask, if I go to Christmas Eve Mass, does that count for Sunday? And it does not. So, and you do what you have to do, kind of thing. But I think Advent season's so special. We definitely want to observe the Advent season. So to skip the fourth Sunday of Advent would be not something I'd recommend. So then you might say, well, if you think everyone will go on fourth Sunday of Advent, why do you cut a Mass on Sunday morning? It's a good question. Well, one, I don't think everybody will go, so it's a practical thing. But I'd love it. And we could fit everybody in if everybody came. We could take a typical 10 o'clock attendance, an 8 o'clock attendance, and we could have it one very full church. And then, but more it's the ministers, because we have to have Eucharistic ministers, readers, choir, song leaders, accompanimists, all that. and that's so give them a little break because they're a high demand at Christmas. So we'll take one mass out on Sunday morning. So that's the big schedule question, right? It's not a twofer, it's not a twofer, 2 for 1. So Danielle, our school principal, had a couple bulletins she said we could help with. So they're going to do some caroling tomorrow, Friday evening, I believe, gathering like 4:45, have a little hot chocolate, or maybe the hot chocolates afterwards. 5 o'clock or so, some places go, and I hope to join them for that. Sounds like good, clean fun. And then she's just talked about next year. You might want to just mention that the wheels are spinning. She's like, how can we, serve the parishes better? How can we maybe beef up enrollment at Regis Catholic Schools? And she's thinking, let's try to do a full-time 4K program, maybe next year already. And so, wait for more news on that. I said, yeah, you get that rolling, come to masses on a weekend, announce that to everybody. It's very enthusiastic, very excited, very competent leader we have right now there. So it's be interesting idea. They had they have that at different places, but we don't have that right now. It's like a part-time 4 and a part-time 3. And so anyway, so that's exciting from the school. Reconciliation service tomorrow, our communal reconciliation service. So we'll gather, have an opening song, opening prayer, a reading, a little preaching. Then I'll have probably about 7-8 priests from the deanery here, and we'll go to different parts of the church and be available for individual confessions. So we'll have ours tomorrow night, Thursday, December 7th, 6:30 p.m. Welcome, invite your friends, and if you missed that one or you can't come to that one next week, on Tuesday at St. Olaf's at 6:30. Immaculate Conception on Thursday at 6:30. Trying to think. St. Patrick's Sacred Heart, it's going to be at Sacred Heart. They're going to have a service starting at, they sort of combine it with a mass, so it's a little tricky, but I think 6:30. They plan to have mass at 5:30 and start a reconciliation service at 6:30. So there's a bunch of those going on this year. Okay, what else we got going on here? We had a really large attendance at Mass, 10 o'clock Mass last week. I hope it continues. It's a joy to celebrate Mass at a full church. Christine says that the back speakers aren't working so well, so we have speakers at front of Mass that throw out sound, and also speakers halfway back that are supposed to help people in the back of church here. I guess it's not, there's some they've come here and they've said they're working, but I guess we continue to hear they're not working so well, so I apologize for that. And I know that I proclaim more loudly and distinctly when I'm proclaiming the word, because I feel it's a little different. I don't preach with the same tone of voice that I proclaim the gospel, and I think it's harder for people to get that, which is, I'm sorry, I'll try to be more, the more you try to be, I feel like it loses some of the warmth or thoughtfulness or personal. It's just not as genuine to preach. And when I preach, I'm more like I'm talking to people. I'm not proclaiming, and so I'm sorry if that's less audible. So I'll try to do what I can. So let's see. Advent night tonight with our religious ed, just so you know that's going on. You won't be able to go because it's going to start in 45 minutes and I'm speaking. So Emma's birthday, you just keep mentioning that. Sometimes it's a little unclear what we're really getting more excited about, Emma's 100th birthday or the birth of Jesus this year. It's but they're both awesome things to get excited about. So I'm just teasing. I mean, Emma's, she's all about Parish, and her faith is rock solid. So she's not putting herself, but getting really excited. It's fun to see her getting excited and all her friends. Lots of events planned. The 10 o'clock Mass on December 29th. It's not a 10 o'clock Mass, though. It must be. Her birthday is the 29th, so 10 o'clock Mass on the 31st will be for her intention. And so God willing, her and all her friends will be there. And pretty exciting. And she's doing great. She gave that 20-minute speech about parish history at our celebration last month. And it's great stuff. Let's see. Just listening to we have our sales have gone well for our Holy Land crafts. Again, it's all this money is going back to the Holy Land. A lot of it. One shop owner in the old city of Jerusalem, a Catholic man who has no business because everything's shut down, and 2 people in the West Bank in Bethlehem. One other shop owner and that organization, the L'Arche community with intellectual disabilities. So we had a great opening weekend of sales last weekend, and I think there's a lot of money was raised. I'll let you know later. And we still have plenty of stuff. This weekend should be another good opportunity to buy some unique gifts for others. They're talking about, I'm trying to get her not to reduce the price of these. None of these sold. I bought one as a wedding gift for people who had their wedding not too long ago. So this is a hand-carved out of olive wood. See? Crucifix. I thought initially that even the body of Christ was carved out of the same branch, but it's not. It's attached. But it's all hand carved stuff from the Holy Land, from an artist there, and we got $100 price tag on it. I think that's kind of a steal. If that group that had come that just sold olive wood stuff, we used to host them, but now we went more toward supporting the L'Arche community, it'd be a lot more than $100. So we'll see. I mean, if it go 2 weekends and nobody bites, maybe we'll lower the price a little, but I just assume keep it for next year, or keep for myself to give as wedding gifts to people in the future. But anyway, beautiful, right? And I think a fair price at $100. There's a lot of stuff that's cheaper than $100. Like, I think these, the signature item, these are like 20. We still have some of these left. These are so great. I don't want to take it out of the box because I might mess it up. So it's just very simple. Some lights just went on here. Speaking of simple, so I was reading about Gaza, the Gaza war. By the way, the pilgrimage, I still haven't canceled it. It's for April. I heard from my tour director. She had been laid off for a month because business is so bad, but she's back and said, I think they'll start flying again in January. Nobody knows. Biden administration they said they think the ground operation will be over in early into the new year. So, I mean, basically I had 40 people signed up and I lost a third of the group, which is absolutely fine. And maybe people will cancel. I don't know at what point let us say it's done, because honestly it'd be easier just to cancel it and write refund checks to everybody, but we don't lose any money for a little while, so I'm a little reluctant to do that. But and I really want to support the people over there because they don't have anybody. Well, would we be anyway? There's a lot of questions and it's hard. So, but so I was reading a news story about Gaza. We never go to Gaza. That's far off the beaten track of a Christian pilgrimage. But there is one Catholic church in Gaza. It's called Holy Family Catholic Church. And I think I mentioned it in chat a while ago, but here's some kiddos. See if they make some good noise here. So Gaza has 2.3 million people, right? I wrote this down. They have 1,017 Christians out of 2.3 million people. And out of those 1,017 Christians, 135 of them are Roman Catholic. So that's a pretty small percentage of Gaza. But there it is, Holy Family Church. You Google it. It's kind of a nice looking church. And it's in Gaza City. And I think I heard that just this week there's like 500-600 people living in shelter there. In this small church that serves a small community. And I hope I don't run. I don't think I deleted last week's chat. Sometimes it runs out of memory. I hope I can get this in. So anyway, that they were one of the other Christian church, the other Christians that aren't Roman Catholic. They're pretty much Greek Orthodox or Greek Catholic. One of the Greek Orthodox church there was bombed and 18 people were killed when they were attacking the north. So Anyway, they interviewed this guy, and he was the pastor. Unfortunately, the pastor was not at the church during the invasion because he was in Rome because the Archbishop, the Patriarch of Jerusalem, Pizzaballa, was made a cardinal. So he went to Rome for that ceremony, and then this attack happened. So he's still not there. He's still there, but can you imagine? There's one associate pastor, the assistant priest, who's there, and trying to manage all that stuff. But he says every day the Pope calls, and every day this pastor calls, and every day the Patriarch Pizzaballa calls. And Pizzaballa did go back to Jerusalem. So he's like the Archbishop. They call him the Patriarch. It's just a kind of Eastern way of talking. But he actually volunteered he approached Hamas and he said, I will take me as a hostage and release any one of the other hostages. I'll just do a trade. I'll be the hostage. And it's got Christ overtones, right? I'll take their place. I will suffer for their sins. I'm not saying hostages had sins, but Jesus, he takes our place and suffers for our sins. So that's how Maximillian Kby, right? That's why he was canonized. I think they accepted his thing. He said, don't kill that boy, kill me instead, in the concentration camp in World War II. So he took the place of a Jewish boy or man who was scheduled to go to the be killed, and he was killed instead, and he was a priest. So St. Maximilian Kby. So Pizzaballa was going to do the same thing, and they didn't go for that. I saw a good video on Al Jazeera. I tried to look at all these different news sources. You had different takes on different things, and it was all about Bethlehem. They interviewed a Lutheran pastor, a Catholic priest in Bethlehem, and basically they've canceled. You can't say they canceled Christmas because they'll certainly celebrate Christmas and Mass and everything, but they've canceled all the major celebrations with fireworks, and it kind of goes without saying. It'd be really odd to do something like that when there's so much death and dying 70 miles away in the war. So it was kind of a no-brainer, but sad, right? To cancel Christmas in Bethlehem. And Pizzaballa, he said, throughout the Holy Land, the Holy Land, that whole area, I said, I forget the words they use, not to forego any major celebrations. So obviously the liturgy, the Mass, but not to have any major celebrations that have a lot of like joyfulness or glee as a theme, because it's just so sorrowful. So I mean, I would think that would temper our own celebrations too, because they're part of our lives. So it's not as close, but I know it's in the heart of a lot of our folks. And so I don't have the quote here, but they talked about, that pastor of the Gaza Parish, he said, it's really driven us to deeper spirituality, because it's not just about a kind of fun celebration, but there's a nativity scene set up. I think it was in a Lutheran church in Bethlehem. And instead of a typical nativity scene, the child Jesus, it's just all this rock, like a building that had been rocketed and destroyed, kind of like the ruins of a building, and then Jesus was placed next to a candle amid all those rocks, and the shepherds are around looking for him. I think maybe Mary and Joseph too. It's very provocative. I think I'll post that on our Parish Facebook page. But the simplicity, they've referred to the simplicity of the grotto. That's what these are. These are called grottos, these nativity sets. And it's from Bethlehem, right? It's from the Bethlehem sheep. And grotto means cave. So when you go to Bethlehem, you go down under the altar and you see like this cave area where they believe Jesus was born. And just the simplicity of this. So it's a lesson for us, any year, but this year maybe especially, to behold the Holy Family in all their simplicity, in a simple grotto, no room for them at the inn. Jesus comes to join us by very simple circumstances, and to let that inform how we celebrate Christmas ourselves. Simply how much God wants to be with us, the pastor was saying how much he goes, in the midst of all the bombings and the suffering that we see every day, to have the call from the Pope every day, to have the call from the Patriarch, it shows there's a nearness, there's a care. They want to be near to us, they care about us, and it means a lot, it helps us a lot. And this is the divine impulse. This is why Jesus was born in the first place, right? He wanted to be near to us. That was the reading today at Mass. I'll probably play on this theme a lot, but it didn't seem like an Advent reading at first, because it was Jesus sees the hungry people, he has compassion on them, and then he multiplies the loaves and feeds them. I was like, well, that's interesting. Usually it's John the Baptist or something, but I thought, well, that's why there's Christmas, because God has compassion on the world, and he wants to be with us, and then Jesus comes into the world. And so the more we can develop compassion in our hearts, like who do you have compassion for right now? Like in your life, is that an active emotion, an active response for victims of war? You see the images. How about for people in your family? How about for people who annoy you? And to have that compassion and know that's a God thing. Whenever we can have compassion, it's a God-driven reaction. And then I think I preached at Mass today. Think about God's compassion for you. You know, what about in your life needs compassion? Where are you hurting? Where are you very limited? What limits your ability to love as freely and as generously as Jesus loved? God has compassion on that. Wants to free you, wants to be with you in your limitations, in your sins, in anything that holds you back, in your with your wounds that need healing, and to accept his friendship into those places that maybe aren't as pretty or we don't want to acknowledge so much. And then I think in feeling God's compassion for you, have compassion on you yourself, like you're your own big brother or big sister. You know, that there's this part of ourselves that I think spirituality is really great at. We kind of take a step back from ourselves. We can even observe ourselves and love ourselves and want us to be all we can be for God, and to have healing in our wounds. That's so much at Christmas. That's why he came to be with us. So anyway, I don't think I have too much more than that. It seems like last time I forgot a couple things. But I guess, in the end, what I took away from that article is just try to be simple, kind of a simple Christmas. All right, so maybe we'll see you at Reconciliation service tomorrow or on the weekend, or if you're far away, it's great to be in touch this way with you. I hope it's somewhat helpful for you. Okay, we'll take in this little bit of a scene here. Well, I should have brought some lyrics to some Advent songs, but I didn't. O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. God bless you, everybody.